What is up, bros? Me, Josh here. In today's video, we're going with the HMS Nelson. Now, the HMS Nelson is the Tier 7 Royal Navy battleship. The premium, if you guys haven't started playing the Royal Navy battleship line, which just came out, it's the newest line, the World of Warships. It's a pretty fun line, a pretty, I guess, interesting line. It's an HE battleship line, quote unquote, and it's been getting people a little excited. But this is the premium ship that is going to accompany that line. And the cool part about this ship is you can actually get it for quote unquote free. This ship is going to be bought like the USS Missouri. If you guys have ever gotten that or grinded for that or working for that or whatever you're doing, this one can actually be bought for free for the free XP basically. So if you ever seen it in the top right corner, you have an X amount of free XP. Now this is something you can earn over time. You're going to earn each game a set amount. If you run Papa flags, you get a little bit more. Certain camos get a little bit more. Or if you have doubloons, you then can convert it into those. And it's actually kind of nice. But you don't actually need to spend any money to get this. You can earn it over time. It's going to take you a while. The price is 375,000. So yes, it's going to take a while. You're not going to be able to get this kind of over a weekend unless there's an. I'm trying to think of any of the multipliers. I don't think you really can. But it's going to take you a while to get this. And yes, I do play this game a lot, and I have a lot of XP just kind of sitting there. But you can use the balloons to, let's say, if you want to get the last little bit done, you can, and put a little bit of money into it. But the best part about this ship is you can get it free while you're playing it. So I wouldn't really grind towards it unless you really want to, using the flags, using certain camos, and you really can. But you can basically get this ship for free, and it's actually a really fun ship. And if you've ever seen this ship in action, it has a very goofy look. It has all the guns in the front, and it kind of looks like the Izumo, the Tier 9. Let's click over to that really quick. If you've ever seen the Tier 9 IGN BB, the Izumo, if I can do that correctly. It has all the guns in the front and kind of nothing in the back. It has a big old butt in the back, but really it's all the guns in the front and then just nothing really kind of in the back. So it's kind of the same kind of design as that. This is a bit smaller. I always say that the printer ran out of ink because it kind of just abruptly ends. There's not too much behind it, but it's all in the front. It's all in the front. Also very similar to the Tier 6 French cruiser, the Dunkirk, and I said cruiser. It's basically a cruiser, but battleship, the Dunkirk. Where all the guns are in the front and then nothing in the back. So what that does is that allows you to kind of just bow in and be very effective. One of the nice parts is the third gun in the back, unlike the Izumo, can actually rotate forward and kind of get that whole 180 degrees in the front without having to go all the way around and doing a full 360 spin. So kind of nice. You can be pretty aggressive. But let's dive into the ship stats. Hit points at 59,400. That's pretty competitive for that tier. It's kind of right in the middle between the Colorado and the Nagato. One thing is, the armor on this ship is you are pretty fragile, so you have to pick your fights very wisely. You can't be going brawling with this ship. You're just not going to be able to survive long range or long term going in against, let's say, a Colorado or Nagato. They're just going to bounce so many more shells than you. But one of the things is you do have pretty big guns, so you can fight them back, and you also are a Royal Navy battleship, so you have that HE life that you can do. And when we jump into some game footage, I'll show you what the HE can actually do on the ship as well. And it's just kind of funny because the Royal Navy battleship line is kind of turned into this HE slinging monster, and the premium ship works just as well with it. Torpedo protection at 21%, so you are going to take some damage against torpedoes, so just be careful. In my opinion, this ship's going to play a little bit farther back than most battleships. You're not really going to go insane with secondaries. You're not going to be that insanely scary ship. You're going to be kind of that sneaky ship, that annoying battleship that's just a pain in the ass, and if you angle correctly and are able to keep kind of the bow in, maybe using some environment as your protection, you're going to be a pain to deal with going against, especially if you are posted up correctly. So main batteries, 3 sets of 3 of 406s. Now these things are going to definitely dunk on some people. Your AP is great against cruisers, broadside battleships, but you do have that HE fire chance of 46% on a 30-second reload, so pretty nuts. Dispersion's all right at this tier. Secondaries are kind of decent, 5 kilometers. Now you can get up about 6 with AFT. So I do run the AA. So secondaries, I think when you start getting 5, 6, 7, it's kind of just meh. Most of those fights you're not going to use it, so it's hard to put a ton of stuff like a secondary build on this. I don't think would ever be really worth it. but it does help if you need, let's say, a destroyer is going to be posting up and coming around a corner on you. So it does help. Definitely doesn't hurt. Um, but I wouldn't spec into it any crazy. Main battery 18.2 kilometers, so your range is all right. You're not the farthest, you're not the shortest at this tier, but you do have the ability to kind of go in and out and put out some pressure. One of the downsides about this ship is that you don't get like a spotter plane, so 18.2 is what you get. You don't get a spotter plane or a fighter plane in this ship, so 18.2 is as far as you will ever shoot in this ship. So just keep that in mind, especially when you're kind of up tiering too. It does leave a little bit to be desired for range, but 18.2 is very competitive and you can do a ton of damage with it. AA is all right, kind of right in the middle. Again, there's no AFT captain, so you're going to be getting out to 6 and some change. So it definitely does help. The AA is okay. You're not going to be cutting down planes like you are on, let's say, the Gneisenau or the Scharnhorst or something like that, but you will knock down a couple in the sky and it will definitely help you. You are a pretty fat ship, a pretty wide ship in the middle with lots of woods, so you are going to be taking some damage from that. So just something to keep in mind. Maybe having a friend or an AA ship that's near you. Speed of 24 knots, it's all right. Everything else is pretty mediocre. Can get detectability down a little low for this tier, so it is kind of nice. You can get down, I think, with 13 or so, maybe high 12s, I think, with the right captain. I think you'd probably be right around 13. Maybe 13.5, somewhere around there, a little less than that. But anyways, the rest of the values are okay. But this ship's playstyle is actually really, really fun. I'll show you the modules just really quick before we dive into some game. And this is what I run. I run main bat 1. So you're basically all about the guns. So you want to protect those guns, especially if you are bow tanking. Those dispersions are just going to make it hit those, so you don't want them to get knocked out. Because if they do get knocked out, then you're kind of SOL in what you can do damage-wise. So you want to have the incapacitation and for those main bats to be as low as possible. So I do run the AA mod. I want it to help out a little bit because of the low torpedo protection for torp planes and stuff like that. Any little bit helps. So going for that is always a nice boost. Lower fire, lower flood chance is always nice, and steering gears. This is what I run. So let's dive into some gameplay footage, and I'll show you guys kind of how I play this, kind of how effective this ship can be in the long run. So here we are actually in game with the HMS Nelson, and as you can see, the ship's goofy looking. It's just goofy, and as you can see, the new Royal Navy norm, which is kind of, it's still weird to admit and to play it like this, but we have the HE shells loaded, the HE God Royal Navy tier, whatever it is now. We do have the HE loaded, and that's what we'll be running for almost the majority of this, but I will show you guys kind of the HE ability that this, or the AP ability as well with this ship. Right now, we're just mainly putting the guns on the Konigsberg. See, that's a situation where I wish I would have had, the AP loaded, and it is what it is. I was hoping to kind of help, since they did have 4 destroyers, that I would be able to kind of get a good shot on one of the destroyers, maybe help, because this ship is honestly pretty accurate. Like right there, that would have been a much better shot. So and one thing is, the guy did luckily repair 1 fire, so not only did we break some of his AA and knock out a torpedo tube, he's now stuck on fire. So really wasn't that bad. He was pretty broadside, so who knows in the long run. But yeah, with a lot of the Royal Navy battleships, even with the Nelson, you can have a lot of success with using HE ammo. It still makes me feel dirty because it is a battleship, but you do just get rewarded because the fire chance is so high, and it is honestly a way to do it. Now, of course, if something is broadside, like this King George, there's a second fire on him that he can't repair. He does get some revenge on me by burning me down a little bit, but with the King George rolling broadside, you still should shoot that AP. Now, I'm just keeping the HE up because I know those 2 DDs are relatively close. I know the Akatsuki's on one side, and I think it was the Hatsu's on the other side. So this shot probably would have done a little bit more damage because of how many ships were shooting at him with HEOs trying to force repair, as well as having two destroyers there, maybe getting a flood on them. So that's what I was really hoping for. See, the Konigsberg shoots at me. That's fine. But yeah, I'm still holding a shot for something like the Hatsu to come up and the Akatsuki to pop up. But that guy was so low, I figured my DDs, that when I knew they wouldn't take a torp hit, could really focus on that. But that's my thought process of why I didn't load AP in those certain situations, because of what my div was, which is 2 sims in this particular chance. Now, as you can see, I'm loading AP. I figured they could take out, or at least maybe potentially get a torp, so I was trying to force his repair, which is one thing I like to do a lot with HE shooting ships. If you guys have ever watched my stream or seen that, I like to force repairs as much as possible. And as you can see, I've let that one fire tick the entire time. And if you can see my little angle, and this is one of the things that's really nice right here, is see how I can get that third turret instantly back on. That's the awesome part. And there's almost a 12k salvo right there. That's also the strength of the AP. So pretty freaking good AP HE, especially when a King George is sitting nice and broadside for you. I can keep a relatively aggressive angle on this guy using my armor, and I can get still 3 guns on him. So pretty nice. But if you guys didn't see right before that, I was able to heal almost all of, literally 99% of that fire damage from that Konigsberg. So I knew he didn't have a repair right here. That's why I'm going back to HE. And one thing, if you are doing HE flinging ship, is guys, force repairs on people. See things like the Warspite. The Warspite has a very poor, very small repair window. If you force him to repair, then just keep shooting HE at him, he's gonna burn. So what I like to do, when I can, shoot a ship, light him on fire, shoot another ship, light them on fire, rinse and repeat, try to force a repair. Then it's all about that sticky fire. It's all about that sticky fire. So there we go, Warspite's on fire. I could either switch to the Queen Elizabeth, I could stay on the Warspite. I think the Warspite has it has a cruiser repair window, so I think it's like 5 seconds. It's not very long at all. But what I like to do is I like to shoot one target, light it on fire, shoot another target, light it on fire, and then see which one is either holding their repairs, then continue to shoot at them, or then switch to another target, force them repairs. Because regardless, if they're going to let one fire sit, you're still going to get that damage. If they're going to repair that fire, then I'm going to focus the hell out of them. Also, that's a really good time to switch to as you can see on the King George. That's why I switched to AP, because he was in the repair party time. So I loaded AP. I knew he'd most likely repair if he got 2 fires. That's kind of the basis. The basic point of a lot of Battleship is if they get 2 fires, they repair. Battleship players have kind of evolved, which is taking some time, especially the friendly ones. I don't care about the red ones. I want them to repair on 1 fire. But a lot of people are actually starting to hold on to, let's say, a 2nd fire, because there's so much HE going out right now. So with that, as soon as he had 2, I figured he would repair, which he did, and then I had AP loaded already. We pumped a 12k salvo into him, and then after that salvo, I switched right back to HE because I knew he didn't have repair. So a little bit of an idea, a little bit of a psychological part to this game, maybe. Kind of using that little knowledge might help you guys out in the future. So there's something to keep in mind. But as you can see with this ship, I'm using my ability to shoot everything forward as much as I can. I'm not giving many broadsides. I don't really have to. The ship is also decent at running away, because you can kind of swing and get those guns backwards. But this is how I basically play this ship. I kind of play it as like a super bow on, because you don't need to give much of a broadside, much of an angle to get that 3rd turret out. So it definitely does help to keep kind of that front in. I mean, already we're not absolutely destroying a bunch of cruisers right now, but we are chunking away already 76,000 damage on these guys, and they've already had to turn away. So they're basically screwed right now. Our team's actually stomping them. We don't have any kills right now, but we were able to. Our division has 2 kills, but I don't personally have a kill right now. But I mean, 78k. That's what the HE on these kind of ships could just do. I've been playing the King George a lot, which is very similar, kind of an HE flinging ship, the tier 7 on the Royal Navy line, and 46% chance on fire, and you're launching 9 shells out. I wouldn't say it's every salvo, but it sure as hell seems like it sometimes, especially when I was playing stuff like the King George and stuff like that. It felt like I was getting to fire damn near every salvo, and I would say that they're going to change how these ships are kind of played, but I would not be surprised if something's changed on this line at all. So there's the Konigsberg. We got him down, I think alone got him down to 37. And as you can see right there, I know this is going crazy right now, so I apologize. I didn't realize it would be like this on the replay. But what I'm doing is I'm quickly tabbing M on this, so a little advance. So I apologize. It looks terrible. But a little pro strat that if you can't see over an island, if it's spotted but you just can't see it, if you quickly tap M, it'll kind of throw the camera in a weird spot, and you can then see over the map briefly and kind of can see what angle they're at. So, I mean, another 12k salvo on that Cleveland, not bad, and that was an AP salvo. So that's why it kind of looked like that. Sorry, it looks like that on the replay. It's not very smooth, but you're able to just kind of quickly see over and just mainly see what angle they are, especially if they aren't moving. You're able to see kind of whereabouts they are, so you can aim your shot. I really wanted to get the kill on this guy, really bad, but I think I saw enough shells coming in that I didn't end up shooting out. Yeah. But also, another thing that's insane about this line and this ship too is its ability to repair so much damage. I mean, did you guys see the repair party? I mean, it has AP, guys. Feel free to use it. It two salvoed that Cleveland. But the repair party on this line in this ship is insanely strong. We repaired that entire first fire without losing basically anything, and yeah, we lost a decent amount of health. We were down to about half, maybe a little under, and yeah, we're back up to about 2/3. So the heals are crazy. You can heal through almost everything. And right now we just get to burn this guy out. So yeah, a couple things. One, if you are going to run these ships kind of HE heavy, spread the fire rounds, burn those repairs on the enemy ships, and then just watch the damage tick up. We got our 2 kills. That's one thing that happens a lot too. I mean, look how perfect that dispersion is. 2 fires on that guy. I wish that would have stuck. I don't think it sticks for 2. Where is it? But yeah, pretty insane. The ship really is fun to play. If you have the ability, you know, it's a tough one between, like, because this one's so much cheaper than the Missouri. It's a lot easier to get. I say cheaper as in it because it just costs free XP. Technically not money. It is nice. I do enjoy this ship. Now, if you're going between this and the Missouri, now these things play very different. They're very different ships, and they have very different benefits. So, whatever one you like, honestly, the Missouri is just gonna take much longer to get. I think it takes literally twice as long to get. And this one's fun though. The Nelson is definitely a fun pickup, a fun ship to play. It plays different than the line. Than, let's say, the tier 7, the King George. It plays different, and you will get a different kind of playstyle out of this. So I like that. I think ships recently has been way too cookie cutter, as I said before, and there's just nothing that really sets a lot of ships apart. This ship is one that is different, so I do enjoy it. I hope you guys do. We're just ticking up 150k already. We got an arsonist, a high caliber. I mean, we used the HE, the AP, and we actually snagged this last kill. So, pretty insane game with this ship, using a good mix of HE, AP. Here's the scoreboard here, and really a fun ship to play. So, hope you guys enjoy it. You got the HE, you got the heals, you got all these tools in the book. Go out and use them, guys. Good luck in your games. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.